Our position is pretty plain, and I think our position has been this way since day one. I understand what Mr. Wade has given to you all, but I also understand what's happened over the years where he's given an interpretation. I happened to be here through that whole process since 1978. And what we're saying is we put a package together. The city put a package together. The council's job under the Impasse ordinance was to pick either the city's package or the union's package. The full council and the Impasse committee picked the union's package. For the integrity of the process, because we get a little carrot waved before us, we don't have the rights, in our opinion, to change our position based on what the Impasse ordinance says. Contrary to what Mr. Wade said, this has been done for many, many years, a multi-year contract. It's our position that what we put before the council that was approved is what this council and this city must carry out. It's pretty plain in the Impasse ordinance that it says the decision of the council, and I shall read this, the decision made by the city council shall become effective, and the city council shall take whatever action is appropriate to implement. I don't think that was said in 1994 when Mr. Wade sat with the committee that made these adjustments in this document. Mr. Wade was the city attorney's counsel at that time. It was the city council committee that put these changes together. I did the research over the weekend, and when the committee finished their work, it was submitted to Mr. Wade. And Mr. Wade put it in the correct form that he saw fit to do it and submitted it back to them for approval. It then came before the full council at that time. Mr. Wade had every opportunity to change anything in this document that he saw fit that wasn't legal, it wasn't binding, or any other thing. He had the total say as y'all have given him right now. In 1994, when the committee did their work, and Mr. Wade came through with the document that said was the final document, then it became apparent that Ms. Hooks, who chaired that committee at that time, made the statement. It was asked by the news, what happens if the committees and the council take the side of the unions? And the statement was, and it's a matter of record, it's not a Malone thing, it said, we will have to take whatever action is appropriate to find the pennies to fund what we voted on. So what we're saying in our acceptance, that we accepted our position, we don't have any choice. Do I would rather my people have 2% in July? Hell yeah, I would. But the bottom line is, I don't have that choice. We must stick to the process that was put before to you all to assume, just like you'll lead the process with the next council. Lawyer Wade has been in this process since he came on board. That committee was put together by a council just like you all. And all I'm saying is that at some point in time, the integrity of the system has to prevail over the greed of the employees. And this is not a one-time thing. These unions will be back before these councils, whether it be you or other people, they will be back before these councils, and this document here prevails. That's what the citizens voted on. That's what the committee did. I spoke to several members of the committee this weekend. There was no mistake that was made out of this procedure that came in 1994. There's been 2 changes to this document since 1978. And 94 was the major changes. And in 1994, it was stated by the HR director that we now have a level playing field between the unions and the city, and this is a document that everybody can live with. All we're saying to the full council, that this is what we expect you to live with. That's what we put on the table. We don't have a choice, and I know very well Mr. Wade's a very smart man. He's just waiting for Malone to say, give me that 2% so he can say, well, when it helps you, it's not legal, but when you don't like it, it's legal. So we're saying that this document is legal, and that's we're willing to live by it.
Thank you. All right. Mr. Crone says that when he worked with the administration, they found $3 million in